The idea that the hair of melanated people, particularly those of African descent, was routinely shaved and used as wool to make clothing during the 1700s and 1800s is not supported by historical evidence. However, this misconception likely stems from the deeply dehumanizing language and practices of slavery-era societies, where black hair was often referred to as wool in a derogatory and animalistic fashion. Let's unpack the historical context and clarify what did happen. Historical context: hair, slavery, and dehumanization. Hair as identity and power. In West and Central African cultures, hair held spiritual, social, and cultural significance. Styles conveyed marital status, age, tribe, rank, and even religious beliefs. Colonial erasure. Upon enslavement, many Africans had their hair forcibly shaved. This act was symbolic. It stripped them of identity, dignity, and connection to their heritage. Wool as a slur. European colonizers and enslavers often described black hair as wool, not out of admiration, but to liken African people to livestock. This language reinforced racist ideologies that justified enslavement. Was black hair used as wool for clothing? There is no credible historical documentation that black hair was systematically harvested and processed as wool for textile production. Here's why. Hair versus wool properties. Human hair and sheep's wool have different structural properties. Wool contains lanolin and crimps that make it ideal for spinning and felting. Human hair does not. Textile industry practices. During the 1700s and 1800s, wool came from sheep, alpacas, and goats. Cotton, flax, and silk were also common. Human hair was not a viable or scalable material for clothing production. Symbolic violence, not industrial use. While hair was shaved as a form of control and humiliation, it was not repurposed into garments. The trauma was psychological and cultural, not industrial. Why the myth persists. Language and imagery. The repeated comparison of black hair to wool created a lasting association. Some enslaved people were described in inventories and ads using terms like woolly-headed, reinforcing the myth. Artistic and literary interpretations. Some modern artworks and speculative fiction explore the metaphor of hair as textile to critique historical violence. These are symbolic, not literal accounts. Honoring truth and dignity. Understanding the truth matters. While black hair was not used as wool for clothing, the ways it was treated, shaved, mocked, regulated, were part of a larger system of cultural erasure and control. Today,